Good evening, friends, followers, and channel members. Welcome on board our first flight tonight in our one of two new liveries for the channel. So obviously we have had the channel livery for a while now, but the registrations, of course, were all the British registered aircraft, the UK, the Gulf, I forgot what it was now, Gulf, Easy, SP, I think it was, it's for Easyjet in pilot. Well, obviously it's not very realistic to fly that particular aircraft on the Alpine operations or the TopSwiss operations, so our legend Dog Fury has created us two extra liveries, which we'll go for a walk around and check those out. So really looking forward to now being able to do these correctly. The operational flight plan is pinned into the chat, so all the registrations and everything are now correct. Tonight's flight is a TopSwiss flight, and we're going to be flying from Brussels down to Geneva. Not a long flight, it's only about an hour's flight time, but very, very busy. Lots of things to do. So it should be a good one. So welcome on board, guys. Thank you so much. Just checking the chat as everyone's coming in and getting seated. Welcome, guys. Good evening to Robuxy and Liana. The legend Dark Fury, of course, is here. Willie Thornton, GH, Pedro, Andrew, Chucky Shrews. Hello, Zara2411, Mad Matt UK. So glad you're able to join us this evening. Good evening, Elliot. Just done 12 hours of radio in the last 24. Oh my word. Oh, I bet you need a strepsil. Nigel Spencer's here as well. Chris Jackson, great to see you. Hey, Chris Morgan's, Melvin, Sonic147, Talvin. Thank you guys so much for coming on board this Wednesday evening. Hey, David Loxley. Of course, you can have a seat, mate. Come and get yourself sat down. We'll get you a drink as well. Hey, Marcel, Lee, JC, Paul Kemp, Will Joyce. Good evening. And to our Twitch viewers as well. Hey, Lemon, apologies if I have missed anybody out on that, but good evening. Hope you are all hope you're all doing very, very well tonight. So let's get the operational flight plan up. Let's go through. Now, sadly, very strangely, there doesn't appear to be any ATC tonight. There's loads over in Germany, as always is the case. But tonight, I don't think we've actually got any at the moment. That might change as we go on, though, so who knows. Melvin Johnson, thank you so much, Melvin, for your 20 Swedish krona super chat, kicking off our stream tonight. That is incredibly generous. Thank you so much, Melvin. Good evening from Sweden. Hope you are hope you're well, Melvin. We've not flown into Stockholm Island for a while. In fact, we flew over Sweden, was it yesterday? I think it might have been. Gorgeous country to fly over. And of course, this time of year is not caked in snow, which is always a bonus. Right, thank you so much, Melvin. Really do appreciate that. Thank you for your support of the channel. Let's have a look at our operational flight plan then and check this out. So I'm actually starting the stream a little bit later than I wanted to tonight. Unbelievably, I had some tech issues, new aircraft, and we had the tech issues. Yeah, so the Fenix app wouldn't load, and then there was something else didn't work either. I can't remember what that was. I ended up having to restart that. Oh, I ended up. Yeah, do you remember? Has anyone ever had that problem where they've loaded the simulator and you've been told to insert the CD? I don't have a CD drive on this PC. Come on, that's so 2001. So yeah, I had to restart the PC in order to get that to work. So I've had to do 2 PC restarts to get this thing working tonight. So touch wood, we're all good now. Anyway, so I've been basically briefing away to myself whilst restarting stuff. So I'm going to zip through the operational flight plans tonight. There's not too much to concern ourselves with actually. We've got a payload of about 9 tons. So our takeoff weight is nice and light again, maybe with a bit of extra fuel on it. It's going to be under 60 tons, which is nice. We have got a cost index of 4 as per usual. Our cruise flight level 31,000 feet, and our trip wind, very slight trip wind. There's very little wind over Europe at the moment. If anyone's had a look at the map, very little wind. So basically everything's looking, really rather nice. scenery and weather-wise, so that's great stuff. Now, slightly wrong here with our flight plan. So we've got 07 left keyed in. Actually, we're not. We're going to be using 07 right because they're using 07 right in the real world. So to keep things realistic with us, we will do that. Also means the departure's changed as well. It's not going to be the Rousey to Whiskey. It's going to be the to Yankee departure. ATC Sweden, good evening, mate. Thank you so much for your very generous 129 Swedish krona donation. That is incredible. Thank you, mate. Really do appreciate that. Both ATC Sweden and Melvin Johnson kicking off our streams tonight with amazingly generous super chats. Thank you so much, guys. Oh, it's such a shame you went around yesterday, ATC Sweden. We would have loved some ATC as we flew over Sweden, but we are going to get back into Stockholm, Arlanda. Now that I've discovered there's actually a terrain fix on FlightSim.to where I can download that, and we've got Stockholm without some broken runways and taxiways because they're awful. But thankfully that's all been solved now thanks to the community mods. So we need to get that in our community folder, and we need to come visit you guys because great airport and some great flights up there. So we will come see you. Thank you, ATC Swede, for that. Really do appreciate it. Yeah, so we're just going to change that when we put the box in, and 04, which is always a nice arrival, something a little bit different, into Geneva tonight. It's yeah, bit more terrain, I think, to concern ourselves with that one. So plug fuel is just over 5 tons, and alternate is around 1.3. Where's the alternate? Oh, it's Zurich tonight. Zurich's the alternate. Let's have a look then. As we scroll down, we can see, well, that more will probably increase, yeah, as we get into Swiss. Actually, it's not so bad. Never at any point does it get above 10,000 feet, so we're okay. We're kind of like the low side of the Alps as we're coming in tonight, rather than approaching from the south. So depressurization shouldn't be a major thing if it were to happen. Of course, it's a major thing, but you know what I mean. We don't have to worry too much about terrain and getting down below 10,000 feet. Look at the winds in Geneva. They are beautiful, and all the nines as well. So really nice flight. Looking forward to that tonight. The alternates, we've got Zurich, we've got Basel, Lyon, and is that Marseille? Yes, I can't remember if it's Marseille or Montpellier. It's one of the two. It's probably Marseille. Either way, we're not gonna need those. I'm pretty certain of that, unless something terrible happens and all our other alternates. Let's have a look at the quick weather brief then. Geneva. Now, this is interesting. We've got a few towering cumulus clouds around 5,000 feet. So that's probably going to be our biggest issue tonight. Maybe some storm clouds just to avoid getting into Geneva, which is quite common for this time of year. Also, just having a look as well at the forecast. Yeah, so those it has been forecast, these towering cumulus clouds. So we'll see what happens with those. Basically, it just means we need to avoid them. So that's it. But in terms of actual weather, no thunderstorms predicted, no terrible winds or gusts. Everything there is looking fine. Zurich is pretty much the same, although there's a chance of showers of rain there. No rain forecast tonight in Geneva, so again it should be fine. Basel as well looks fine. Saint-Exupéry, and it is Marseille. Yeah, Marseille. Again, all of those looking fine. Now let's have a look then at the actual flight routing. There it is. Say nice short route. All of the weather over Europe actually is south of where we're going. So we've got occasional turbulence and icing as well, so that might just be something to consider as we're coming in on our approach to Geneva tonight. But that goes hand in hand really with the towering cumulus forecasts, and there we've got confirmation of it as well. So yeah, I think we're just skirting this area of embedded cumulonimbus clouds, but really don't think that's going to cause us any need for concern. So maybe a bit of extra fuel just for avoiding some of the CBs. Let's go then with, let's see if we take 5.2. I mean, Geneva is the sort of place as well, if you need to have a go around, you need to get quite high up again because of the terrain. So if we go with the CBs, let's take maybe an extra half ton. Let's go 5.6 tons of fuel overall, and that should be fine. CNR is 2.3, so if something's going really wrong, we're starting to get to around 2.5 tons, then it's time to decide where it is where we're going to go. So I think that's pretty much everything done there that we that we need to. Let's have a look at the charts, then we'll step outside, go visit our beautiful new aircraft and have a look. So we're stand 136. The taxi here is okay. It's easy to get lost at this airport, particularly in the dark. Thankfully the sun hasn't quite set yet, so we're going to be taxiing on the inner. We'll take Mike, then we'll take the inner again, and if we can do an intersection departure from Charlie 6, that's nice. Now I've got lost here before in the past. We don't want to take Charlie 5. Although I think we can take Charlie 5. I'm no expert on Brussels. I don't know if anyone in the chat knows Brussels better than I do. But Charlie 6 or Charlie 5 is possible, but it is a bit of a hotspot. In fact, you can see there, we've got a hotspot there. So let's not try to get confused with these taxiways. Very, very easy to do. I think once I was meant to be departing Charlie 5, and by mistake I went on Charlie 6, which is fine, better than the other way around, because then the performance takeoff information we've got isn't valid. So yeah, just need to be aware of that. Departure tonight then is pretty straightforward. No speed restrictions that we need to worry about. We're just straight out to Rousey. This is Rousey to Yankee departure. A couple of VORs and naves that we can use. We've obviously got Brussels, we've got the Holdenberg, but we've also got the engine out procedure to think about, and that is using the FLO VOR, but we'll have a look at that once we're on board. Right, should we get on board then? Let's have a look at our gorgeous new aircraft, shall we? Let's check this out. So here we are in Brussels. What an absolutely gorgeous night this is, and let's go and have a little look at our new aircraft, shall we? Whilst we're doing that, we might as well get GSX to start coming and throwing some food and drink on, because I'm sure you guys want some food and drink this evening. So we'll get the catering service all started up. There it is, and I don't think we use those loaders in real life, but yeah, let's go and have a look. So there's confirmation. You can see the obviously the livery hasn't changed, but what has changed, we've got the registration plate to actually match our TopSwiss airframe, and of course we've got the operational flight plan showing this as well. So great work, a big shout out and thank you to Dark Fury for doing this for us. Amazing stuff, mate. Thank you. Of course we've got another aircraft as well. We've got the Alpine aircraft registered in Austria. This one of course registered in Switzerland, which is where we're going today. And is that also you in the background, Dark? Your lovely Swiss aircraft in the background. Fantastic. Right, let's hop on board and we'll start getting set up. I wonder what on earth that was then. It's the shadow of the catering truck coming to deliver your food and drink for the evening. Hey Lazarus, good to see you, mate. Right, so aircraft's in is turnaround state as usual. We're on external power, nav local lights, they are on. We'll just check that spoilers, flaps, parking brake is on, acupressure's in the green, all is good. Let me get then, as we've got no air traffic control, we just need to get the latest METAR then from here. We're going to be pushing back in about 20 minutes. I'll get the METAR, then we'll start getting people on board. So let's just update this. So what we've got wind 080 at 4, so that's nice and light, more or less a headwind for departure. It's cav okay, and QRH is 1018. Hey Chris Shaw, good evening mate, hope you're well. Right, that's fine. Quick check on what's happening in Geneva as well whilst we are here. There you go, just confirmation of that. Light winds, but we've got a few towering cumulus clouds with no significant changes. So that's what we're going to be looking for when we get to Geneva. So aircraft setup QRH 1018. That's fine. Guard frequency, that's done. That's monitored, and everything's turned off. And thrust levers where they should be, etc. Okay, FCU, get the constraints on. Initial climb out here in Brussels is flight level 60, so let's check that. Hey James Cox, good evening mate. Right, let's set up the box. Let's also start getting people on board, shall we?
Cabin crew, we're all happy with how things are up here, so you can now open the doors and start letting our passengers on board. Thank you.
No
Great stuff. So the passengers can start coming on board, and we'll start setting up the box. Okay, so we've got our 3.5 greens, aircraft status, right engines, air cyclers, fine. Let's do our init request. Hope the air cars works. Don't fancy doing it manually. It's very rare that you have to do it manually now, unless the air cars uplink isn't working correctly. Right, so our flight number tonight is EZS, which is TopSwiss, and it's always a mouthful anyway because TopSwiss doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. It is TopSwiss 53 Hotel Golf this evening. Cost index of 4, temperature 20, and the tropopause according to the operational flight plan is 35,249. Scrub the winds. Clear that scratch pad message out. Iris in it, check they're fine. Yeah, they all agree. So I'm not going to check the actual position of those with the charts. I'm sure that that it's accurate. Alright, cruising today, flight level 310 and temperature 46. So, where are we going? We are departing runway 07 right, and it is the Rosie 2 Yankee departure. Let's go find that. Loads of departures here in Brussels. Rose 2 Yankee S1. And then the arrival at the other end is the ILS 04, and what's the start? At Kid 2 November, that's the one. Now, where does that come in via? I think it is Indis. Let me double check. Paranoia check, but I'm pretty certain Indis is the one. Yep, that's it. And just confirmation on the star chart. Indis, there we are. Right, so operational flight plan has our routing today at 376. I've got 370 in the box, so that's fine. Let's get that on. Loving that sunset. I wonder how dark it'll be in Geneva when we get there. And there we go, the manual leg as well, which we're familiar with coming into Geneva. So that's fine. Let's get that back on 20. Vincent, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate that. Okay, so RadNav page then, I'm going to pop in the HUL as that is on our departure route, and then also for the engine out procedure we want the flow VOR, so I'll pop that in there, 25 miles away. There we are. Good stuff. So, init B page then, let's have a look at our load sheet for today's flight. Assuming dispatcher brought it, of course. There you are. Hey, John B. Says thank you so much for the videos. You're more than welcome, John. Have I considered flying with FS2 crew? Yeah, in fact, we did a preview of it when it first came out. Really good stuff. For me, though, it's just another program that needs to be running in the background while I'm streaming, and because of how intense streaming and Microsoft Flight Simulator with all the mods is in general, I just try and keep things as streamlined as possible in stream. Plus which, I'm also in control of everything as well. There's no sort of moments where FS2 crew might do something that I'm not expecting it to do, so we can follow real world standard operating procedures and things as close as possible. So that's basically the reason why I don't use it. Not that it's a bad program. If I was flying solo, absolutely, I think it's great, but yeah, just keeping the PC sort of clutter-free kind of thing. Annie Song, let's see. I am feeling much better. Thank you so much. I still feel like the voice is a bit croaky, but aside from that, we can live with it, can't we? Right, what's our zero fuel weight? Zero fuel weight is 52. No, let's call that 53 then, round it up. Our zero fuel weight is 32.4. Fuel for our alternate, what was it? Was it 1.3 tons? Yes, 1.3 tons overall. And we're going to tell the crew we want 5.6 tons of fuel. Help us avoid those CVs. So takeoff weight is 58.4. And our takeoff CFG is 31. Bang on. Right, so that basically gives us a sort of extra 800 kilogram, which is around 24 minutes of extra thinking time. Should we need to do it? Lemon, is there a habit to call the left or right runways Lima or Romeo? Yeah, no, it's not that. So it's just 07 left, 07 right. Don't confuse things with the phonetic alphabet, because I don't know. There could be an aircraft that's using a similar call sign, like I don't know, 23 Romeo or something like that. It could potentially get confusing. So no, left and right is the way to do that. Elliot Estel sound like John Anderson. I'm going to start supping helium before my next flight. Right, let's do the takeoff performance calculations then, and just telling the ground crew how much fuel we want. 5.6 tons. Get that loaded in, and let's have a look then at the departure performance. So it is of course dry. We're on 07 right, flaps 1. All of those will be off. Takeoff weight 5.8. And the CFG is 31. Grab the live weather. Right, wind section data we've got. PSN 1, Charlie 6, Charlie 4, Charlie 3. Oh, don't want any of those later ones. Let's just have a quick look. Charlie 6. Yep, I'll take Charlie 6. Sim2 City, I use the Thrustmaster TCA side stick for all our stuff. Wow, low V speeds. Mind you, we are light tonight, so that's not entirely unexpected. So 123, 135, 135. Let's get those in the box. Flaps 1 and the flex 68. Right, it's noise abatement 2 here at Brussels, and let's just have a look at SimSmart, confirm those. So 166. Oh, sorry, it's not noise abatement 2, it's noise abatement 1. That's fine. So noise abatement 1, it is then. So thrust reduction, we say new standard operating procedures. They're now doing this at 800 feet AGL. So let's just check. What is the elevation of our airport today? It is 166. So 1166. That makes sense. So we'll do that at 800 feet. So that is going to be, instead of 1166, it's going to be 0. It's going to be 966 then, isn't it? So 966. The thrust reduction is 3166. That doesn't change. And the engine out acceleration also 966. It is standard, isn't it? Yeah. There we go. Okay, let's have a look then at that secondary flight plan, and we'll get that in with the engine out procedure. So it is standard, 1700 feet, right turn to flow and enter the hold. So that's pretty straightforward. Secondary flight plan. Oops, copy the active. Tell you what we will do. Let's just use our airport. Just save a little bit of time this evening because I'm starting a little bit late. So heading 069, about 15 miles away. That'll be place bearing distance 01, and then we're going to turn to flow. We shall enter the hold. Information 308 right turns. And then if that is the case, back here into Brussels, where 07 left is in use for landing. Have we not got a 07 left? ILS approach? That's interesting, isn't it? Surely it has one. Oh, how strange. Maybe it doesn't. It's a VOR approach. That would be weird. I'm not actually sure. I think actually in real life, I think they're using runway 01 to be fair for the arrival. So let's go with the ILS for 01. Hopefully none of this is going to be important, but no star is flow one of the VIAs. Yes, it is. That works out quite well. So quick check on that. So straight out, right turn flow, and then there's the arrival back in. Done. Okay, good stuff. Right, so as the sun is setting, then let's do our brief if we're all ready for that. So the weather here in Brussels: light wind 08084. We've got Cav OK QNH1018. Nothing to concern us there. Aircraft type A320. Only thing in the tech log is the weather radar. Again, that would be quite nice going into Geneva with the tower and kilometers knocking about. So we'll just have to keep our eyes open. No TAMs today. Nothing that's going to affect us at either airport. Actually, I've already read through those, so that's fine. Threats to be aware of for our departure: nothing really in terms of terrain. I think the biggest threat is just going to be this little hotspot area there on the taxi. So let's just pay extra special attention to that. I don't think we've got any air traffic control either, so probably need to just pay a bit of attention to that as well. Listening out on Unicom, etc., making sure that everyone knows where we are on that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Biggest threat is probably just getting lost on the taxiway. So let's just quickly brief that then. So we're parked at stand 136. We're going to push back. We'll be facing east, and then if we taxi on the inner, will take us to Mike, and then from Mike back on the inner 8. From inner 8 we want to taxi here onto holding point Charlie 6 for the 07 right departure, and that's where we're going to be going from. So we could potentially do a single engine taxi here because it's quite a long taxi, this one. So yeah, we'll do a single engine taxi. That's fine for the intersection departure from Charlie 6. The departure itself is pretty straightforward, so it's straight out, and then at 1,700 feet or 1.1 miles from Brussels, whichever is later, which most likely in our case is potentially going to be BUB, so might just have to have a quick rethink here. Let's just pop in the BUB on there. Just turn those on. So 1,700 feet or 1.1 miles from BUB, we'll make that right hand turn direct to the Hull VOR. No speed restrictions, no constraints that we need to meet, so we can just clean up and accelerate away on schedule. And our initial climb out is to flight level 60. And just confirm we've got that set up. Yes, we do. Alright, so I think that's pretty much it. It's noise abatement 2. First turn will be to the right, and transition altitude 4,500 feet. Go through the box, just confirm all of that we've just briefed. So it's 2 Yankee 07 right. Radnav, we've got the flow on the bub. Progress page flight level 310, that's going to be fine for us today. We're not too heavy, so we can get straight up there. Confirm the V-speed is 123, 135, 135. Clean is 202. It's a flap squad departure, and we're flexing today at 68. Noise abatement 2966, and the acceleration 3166. Engine out also 966. Takeoff weight is going to be 58.4, so we're below the maximum landing weight should we need to get back in. And the secondary flight plan has got the engine out procedure in, which we can just quickly look at and brief. So the emergency procedure is once we're all sorted and at 1700 feet, we can then make the right turn to the flow VOR and to the hold, and then we'll decide what it is we're doing. Wonderful. So last couple of passengers are getting on board, and I think we're done. So let's get that APU fired up. Would cut on Twitch. I know how to push my PC to limit. Brussels would finish his off, especially if cloudy. It's a gorgeous looking airport as well, though, isn't it? It's probably, I would say, in terms of detail, probably the best one around, to be honest. I keep thinking, was it Aerosoft said that their next mega airport was going to be Milan? That would be brilliant. Milan obviously being quite a big Easyjet base, so that would be fantastic for some operations from there as well. Hey Valstrom, good evening, mate. Right, excellent. I think that's the signal. Everyone's on board. Just waiting for that APU to fire up now.
Hi Gavin, all the passengers are on board and we're ready to go. I'll bring you a cup of tea after we've taken off.
That's great, thank you.
Right, so let's get those back on. We'll let's see what signs on, and we'll just wait for the APU. There we go, APU's running, give that a minute, and then we'll get the APU bleed on. We can get rid of the external power.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck this morning, let me welcome you on board this Easyjet aircraft as you settle in for what we hope is going to be a most enjoyable flight.
Final load sheet's just
The
come
weather
through.
today doesn't look to be posing much of a problem, so we should have a nice smooth ride for you throughout the duration of the flight.
58.3.
And as the cabin crew continue making their
29.2.
preparations, if you could please assist them by getting yourselves sat down, your seatbelts fastened, and make yourselves nice and comfortable. The ground crew have now finished loading the aircraft, and we're just about finished with all our pre-flight checks, so it won't be long until we are pushing back. If you could please give the cabin crew your full attention as they go through the safety briefing, we'd very much appreciate it. So on behalf of myself and the first officer, we'd like to say thank you for choosing EasyJet today, and we look forward to giving you a safe flight.
Hey RSA DLC, hope you're well. Valstrom says congratulations on the 33,000 subs. Oh, unbelievable milestone again that we've just passed early hours of this morning, I think it was. So yeah, huge thanks to everyone helping us get to 33,000 subscribers. Incredible stuff. You continue to surprise me. Thank you for your support, guys. Really, really great. And that's probably the reason I'm doing the stream tonight. I wasn't going to stream it, then when I saw that I thought, yeah, come on, let's go for it. And we've got our new aircraft as well. Right, so ground crew getting into position. Cockpit preparation checklist then. So aircraft acceptance has been completed. Fuel quantity, we've got 5.6 tons. Seatbelt signs are on. Just check that fuel is balanced. It is. Seatbelt signs are on. It is got 3.5 green, and the barrel F, the QNH is 1018. Set cross checked, and that's 120 feet. Good stuff. Right, let's get on to Unicom. These sunset takeoffs are just gorgeous, aren't they? Yes, a taxiway interfacing east, that's correct. Brussels traffic, TopSwiss 53 Hotel Golf, stand 136, pushing back, facing east on the inner. Give us a second, ground crew. Okay, beacon lights on, transponders on, pressure's good. Parking brakes released.
Traffic switch 19 Lima, stand 142, pushing back, facing east, don't know where we're going to go. The ground crew's been hideout from 8 to 6.
Nozzle steers disconnected, starting the timer. Engine mode select to ignition, starting engine 1. I like that. You don't know where you're going to go. The ground crew are just going to surprise you tonight, Dark. Lana, let me give the bot a kick, shall I? Maybe it didn't like the call sign. I don't like the call sign. Daft call sign. Just paranoid check that the APU bleeds on. It is. How many times tried to start the aircraft without actually putting the bleed on? Oh, we don't know where he's going, but it looks interesting. I'd love to know if this is a GSX issue or a Zobo issue. That looked violent.
A safety card is in your seat pocket, showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets, and brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 2 emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle, and 2 at the front of the cabin. Floor lighting will guide you to an exit. Please be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you.
Cockpit to ground.
In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep
engine
it
1
fastened at all
is
times.
happy up and running. So engine 1 selector
fails,
back
masks
to
will drop from
normal.
above you. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen. Put the mask over your
bleed
nose
off.
and mouth. Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others. If you land on water, take the life jacket from under your seat. Put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist. Click together and pull the strap to adjust. Do not inflate it inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate by pulling the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into the tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention. We also carry flotation aids for children.
Okay, left clear, right clear, tugs
Your
disappearing.
tray table must now be stowed,
Where is
armrests
she?
down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. We wish you a pleasant flight with Easyjet.
No idea where she is. There she is. Cameron, I use self-loading cargo for the cabin sounds. She's giving us a wave. Good, good. Might have to put some lights on. It's starting to get dark. Okay, so while I'm stationary, I was sat waiting for the Swiss to finish his rocket-propelled manoeuvre. Let's do our flight control check. So I've got full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, and rudder, full right, rudder, full left, and neutral. And Brussels traffic, TopSwiss 53 Hotel Golf will be ready for taxi behind the Swissair, taxiing via inner Mike, inner 8, and holding Charlie 6 for runway 07 right for departure. Brussels traffic. Thank you to the new followers on Twitch, guys, as well. Welcome. I hope you're well. Elliot, if I had £1 for every time someone asked me about self-loading cargo. I wish I did. Be able to afford to put my lad through flight school then. So just waiting for the Swissair aircraft to light his fires and kick the tyres.
Brussels traffic, keep that 404 Romeo, police number silent, runway 01, Brussels traffic.
So we're still going to have to coordinate with aircraft that are arriving then, because obviously we're taking off 07 right, and they're using 01 for landing, so obviously don't want to get in the way of those.
Brussels traffic, Swiss 19 Lima, taxiing by inner, Mike, out inner 8 and holding Charlie 607 right.
We'll be taxiing behind him in a moment. I'll get the taxi light on once he starts moving. Dear Chef 142 on Twitch, can I recommend any free scenery for
Brussels traffic,
Europe?
404 Romeo,
Oh,
runway
there's
01, 5 mile final.
absolutely loads available on flightsim.to. Definitely worth going and checking that out if you're not familiar with flightsim.to. Some brilliant freeware aircraft, not just aircraft but scenery of course as well. Scenery, airports, loads of things. Now I am just looking ahead of us. I can see strobe lights in the distance, not strobe lights, navigation lights in the distance of an aircraft coming towards us. Oh no, there he goes. He's taking the outer. Fantastic. Alright, so I'm thinking we will get engine 2 running when we're on the inner 8 taxiway. That should give us 3 minutes. Plus we've also got, to be fair, we've got the aircraft in front of us which we're going to wait for once he's lined up and departed, so we're going to have bags of time. The only thing that this does, of course, it just adds a little bit to our workload in terms of doing the beds check and taxi checklists and things. Callum, you want to see the livery? Bear with me 1 second then. There we go. So here's our new livery, complete with... Hang on, I can't drive and show you the livery at the same time. Complete with a correct call sign, or rather correct registration, which is what we want. Now we're doing our Alpine flights and our TopSwiss flights. Gorgeous stuff. And of course the livery is also shown on the registration plate inside the flight deck too. Dark Fury, yeah, absolutely. Just plug away. I've also now updated the video descriptions, so your profile is now listed correctly as well. Day Chief 142, why does Easyjet use different call signs for each country? It all depends on where they're registered. So aircraft registered in the United Kingdom use Easy, those registered in Switzerland use TopSwiss, and those registered in Austria use Alpine. Yes, a fan gaming, that is exactly right. TopSwiss is basically the Swiss version of Easyjet. Right, so we're looking for taxiway Mike in a moment. Move that tug out of the way. Christopher, it's nice and shiny. Yeah. I've not wrecked it yet.
Brussels traffic, 404 Romeo vacated runway 01.
All aircraft get washed anyway when they go through a nice cloud. I do love this airport. I think it's a stunning airport. So realistic with everything that's moving around it. John B, yeah, the reason that engine number 2 is off is it saves fuel. Saves fuel, saves wear and tear. Also protects some kamikaze drivers that drive in front of us. That doesn't happen in real life. Or it shouldn't happen in real life. The shift 142, why do they register them in different countries? A whole host of legal reasons is the short answer. Right, we're going to get on here, and then we will we'll get engine number 2 started. So this is inner 8. There it is. Get on the straight and narrow and then we'll start that second engine. Christopher, the Bristol scenery is awesome. Quite right. It's just, it's alive, isn't it? The airport is alive, which, you know, for a desktop simulation is just beautiful. Okay, so we're going to pop that on. We're going to turn that off. Engine mode selection to ignition and starting engine 2. Evening, GD. Just had a lot of stutters coming into Manchester Airport when on approach. Resulted in a nice crash. Oh, no. I've had that happen before once coming into me in Manchester. I don't know what it was. Krasa, is this intensive on the frame rates? Well, you tell me. I have no idea what my frame rates are at the moment, but does it look smooth enough for you? Hopefully it does. It looks smooth enough for me. So just monitoring engine number 2 at the minute. Looks like there's an aircraft. Is he on final, maybe? Might be on short final. Just watching him over there.
Traffic Swift 9017, Motorland runway 25 left, 10 miles out.
25 left. That's interesting. Right, engine number 2 is available. Start the timer. Right, wonderful. So that can come off. That can come off. Engine mode selection as well is back to normal. All right, so with all that, let's do our pets check then. So no change to performance, no LMC is effective as our performance figures for takeoff are exactly the same and all valid. Dry figures from Charlie 6, runway 07 right. Engine out procedure is standard. Once we're above 1700 feet, we can make that right-hand turn to the flow VOR, where we'll enter the hold, we'll get nice and safe above MSA at 3000 feet, and then decide what we're going to do. Departure is the Rouser 2 Yankee, noise abatement 1 departure, and the right-hand turn first, and that's passing 1.1 miles from the Brussels VOR or 1700 feet, whichever is later. No speed restriction, so we can clean up on schedule and accelerate away as we go, and our initial climb is flight level 60. Taxi checklist, flight controls have been checked, flap setting config 1, FMA is climb, nav blue 1, FD2, 6000 blue, radar predictor which are on, ECAM memo as takeoff, and no blue, EFB is stowed and disconnected. Right, so this is in a 10, got a left turn, and this is the hotspot area just here. So we make a left turn here and then a right hand turn, because if we go left here, that takes us onto Charlie 5. We're not valid from Charlie 5, it's going to be Charlie 6.
Traffic line 8 Mike November final 0 Brussels traffic.
Brussels traffic, Swiss 19 Lima Road in Charlie 6 for 07 right. We'll line up after the landing aircraft.
Roger.
So you can see how this actually looks a little bit confusing. If we have a look on the map where we are right now, we are here, And if we have a quick look outside, which obviously you can do in a simulator.
What are you doing? It's runway 01 current, not 25 right.
So this is where that's Charlie 5, Charlie 6 is
my
here,
approach, they use only.
and then that's our departing runway. That's 01 where we've got traffic on just here. So in fairness, the Swiss could actually line up and wait, because he's not going to interfere with the intersection just there. But we'll sit pretty. Hey J-Hog, Relic, hope you're doing well.
Just gonna one time going around.
And we've got to go around. I understand why. Okay, so actually this aircraft's using the wrong runway. I don't know if anyone wants to check flight radar 24, but yeah, this runway is not in use at the moment. This runway is.
Cabin crew seat for takeoff, please.
Can't remember what aircraft it was that was coming into land. Let's have a look. Oh, Brussels. Does anyone remember Sabina?
Brussels traffic,
Brussels
switch
Airline.
19 lining up runway 07 right.
Used to see lots of Sabina aircraft at Manchester. And Brussels traffic TopSwiss 53 Hotel Golf is following the Swiss aircraft and will hold Charlie 6 for runway 07 right.
Source traffic below 8, Mike number on 01 vacated.
GD, it'd be good if in future release of Microsoft Flight Simulator they allowed aircraft to crash into each other. I mean, it's not really the remit of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Combat Flight Simulator may be more up your street if that's if that's what you're looking for. I used to play Combat Flight Simulator as well when I was younger. Quite enjoyed that. I forget which version it was, but it was the version that was essentially World War II.
Brussels traffic, Swiss 19 Lima, taking off 07 right, the routing to Yankee departure.
And Brussels traffic TopSwiss 53 Hotel Golf will line up behind the departing TopSwiss via Charlie 6 runway 07 right behind. Okay, so our approach path is clear, lights are on, packs are off. Let's get on that runway. It's been more than 3 minutes, much more than 3 minutes, so engines are fine. The Swiss is rolling. Hey Wally, how's that? Good afternoon mate, hope you're well. Dan Vosa, yeah, I can show you the little bit. Let's just get a little bit airborne, shall we? Or maybe if I'm still waiting for a couple of minutes separation, we might get a chance on the runway just here in a second. Okay, quick look outside, show you that livery. We've got another minute to go before we can leave. So here it is, just our usual Easyjet SimPilot channel livery, but we've now got the correct registration plates for our TopSwiss aircraft, and we've also got an Alpine one as well, which we will showcase later on in the week. Gorgeous airport, gorgeous sunset. Dear mate 8, thank you for being here, mate. Hopefully you'll be able to catch us again. Right, that's 2 minutes, let's go. Brussels traffic, TopSwiss, 53 Hotel Golf, departing runway 07, on Rousey 2 Yankee departure.
Easy 78 Lima, turning left, direct into Tepa.
Start the chrono, 50% and 1. So take off thrust. And flex SRS. Not going to take us very long to get up to speed, is it? We're not heavy today. That's 100 knots checked. B1. Rotate. Geneva, here we come. Nav.
Positive rate of climb, gear up.
Gear up.
Express 9017, turning right. 350 degrees, inbound to land, runway 27 left, view out.
First climb SRS. So I'm happy to fly this manually till we get to 1.1 miles from the VLR, which is coming up in a minute. There it is, so now we're happy to turn. I'll get autopilot 1 on, it can take the load for me. Get the second pack on, there's the right hand turn. .60 blue. And thrust climb climb. Got no further air traffic control, of course, so we will clear ourselves up now. Flight level 200. Open climb 200 blue. Where's that aircraft going?
Traffic, traffic.
I'll push the level off. VS 0. Speed. Flap 0. Spoilers disarmed. Looks like we're now going to be clear of that conflict. Thrust climb, open climb. Let's continue that climb out. Wave goodbye to Brussels. An amazing airport from Aerosoft, their mega airport. And that's it. On our way. I was hoping to have a little bit more sunshine throughout the flight tonight, but what with a couple of false starts with the stream this evening, getting the simulator up and running, didn't quite make it. Antitas, thank you for the follow on Twitch, and OSM7N as well on Twitch. Good evening, mate. Hope you're well. Okay, so spoilers, flaps, gear, get the lights off. And, oh, that should be all the way to on, of course, not just auto. Dark Fury was an aircraft landing on the wrong runway. Oh dear. It's easy to check, isn't it? And if there's no ATIS, just look at Flight Radar 24 and do as they do in the real world.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened while the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes.
Okay, so we've passed 10,000 feet. I'm going to clear out the RadNav page. Progress page 50310. That's going to be fine. We'll set that in a minute. Cost index of 0 and copy the active for the secondary flight plan. Flight level 310. Up we go. Let's continue that climb. So open climb still and 310 blue. 10,000 feet. Everything's looking beautiful and smooth. I think the seatbelt signs can come off as well, can't they now?
Ladies and gentlemen, the seatbelt sign has now been turned on. You are now free to move around the cabin and the toilets are now available. However, when in your seat, we recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times in case of unexpected turbulence. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
And aviation, I use self-loading cargo for the announcements. So you can almost start to see these the clouds that were forecast and may start to build the closer we get to Geneva. It's going to be quite interesting to see how the simulator depicts those, whether they're going to be there and we have to avoid any or not. Elliot, that's about a $5 on tonight's stream. I am going to have to pin it, aren't I? Valstrom saying the same thing. It's like playing bingo. I'm going to have to put a command in, aren't I? Pepsi, thank you for the subscribing, sub, whatever you want to call it. Appreciate that. Hope you're well. That's that beautiful registration of the new aircraft. Should also point out as well, a little bit of an Easter egg. The registrations that we've got for our aircraft, they do actually mean something to me personally. So they weren't just plucked from random. And they're certainly not real. Well, I don't think they are. It would be interesting if they were real. I'd have to check the book I've got. Dark Fury, the registration is also on the underside left wing. Is it really? Oh, well, let me go back out and check that. Might be too dark to see it. Dark. I can just see it. There it is. Yeah, there we are. Anyway, here we go. Ratio, why don't we keep the initial cost index? Standard operating procedure for the airline is to zero it. Gets you up to cruising altitude a little bit quicker. Changes the rate of the climb, etc. Once you reach cruise, though, we have to put it back to 4. Angus McTavish, good evening, Angus. How you doing? Hope you're well. The sky could actually look quite interesting tonight, given the the cloud conditions that were forecast. Enterdecker111, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Hope you're doing well. Dark, I was keeping that quiet. Yeah, I'm not going to show it now. I'm going to jump views. No one looks at that. Those clouds look really good. I like they're just a tiny bit, but I don't know. I just think they look nice and realistic. Those today. Maxwell, use the wing lights today? Probably not. They're usually used for checking for icing conditions, and well, you know, we're pretty much in the height of summer at the minute. It's very warm over Europe at the moment. It's going to get even warmer, I think, this weekend. Well, certainly is here in the UK. Dark Fury, 1:30 AM bedtime was. I saw what time you sent deliveries over this morning on Discord. Like 1:30 in the morning, mate. What are you still doing up? Jan91 on Twitch says Belgium is 30 degrees. What, 30 degrees now? Surely not. Is that this weekend? It's forecast to be 30 degrees. Interestingly enough, it's actually been quite cool today up north in the UK where I am. The sun's not shone all day, and it's the sun that really is making that difference for the temperature at the minute. Junior 901, so it's the weekend. Yeah, I think we've got similar forecasts for this weekend as well. To be honest, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not ginger, but I've got their temperament when it comes to hot weather. I just don't like the heat of the sun.
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase a selection of hot beverages, together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated. And if we can be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Angus McTavish, you're flying from Gatwick to Belfast tomorrow, presumably in real life then, Angus. If you do a sim brief operational flight plan on your phone, how true to life would it be? Well, given the route that you're flying, I'm going to guess, is that an Easyjet flight, Angus, by any chance? If you use the Easyjet layout, it's very realistic. The only thing that would be different, of course, is potentially the aircraft weights, because you could be on a 319, 320, 321, and they're all, every airline has a slightly different operational empty weight, etc. And of course, you wouldn't know what the payload is. The only thing you could do, is see if you can speak to the pilots beforehand and go, "Can I just see your OFP? I just want to see if I can put the weights into sim brief and get it as close as possible." Do you know what? I have actually done that. I have compared it with real life ones, and when you put everything in, it is incredibly close. I've had it so like the fuel, the plug fuel has been within sort of 10 kilograms, which is just amazing. Brian King, good evening, sir. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Angus, talking about the weather. Oh, well, in that case, the weather and the significant weather charts, SIGMET charts, they should be absolutely spot on. They'll be exactly the same, Angus. They're you know, I don't think people realise actually just how amazingly good SimBrief is. Right, how are we doing with our altitude? And there we go, alt cruise. Bye-bye. Leanne's stepping out for a few minutes to have too much film. Well, we're probably going to start briefing the arrival. It's not that far away. Right, so that's it. That's cruising altitude. Let's check we've not broken anything whilst we were getting here.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, we've been delighted to hear that we're now at our cruising altitude that the hours are kept clear so the cabin crew can offer you their cabin service, which will begin shortly. A reminder that Easyjet Signal Island channel members are able to access free rooms throughout the duration of the flight. Thank you, and I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the remainder of the flight.
Okay, so SD pages are fine. We've just passed Ritax. How much extra fuel do we have on board? We took 5.6, which is about half a ton, 500 kilograms plus the contingency, so about 0.7 tons extra. We've just passed Ritax. This is where we're about to see just how busy short flights are. So where are you? Come on. Ritax. There we go. So that should be about 4.2 tons in total. Let's see what we've got. Just under 4.2. Perfect. That's fine. All right. Let's do a landing calculation then. Whilst we're up here. Before we do that, let's just see what is happening weather-wise then at Geneva. So let's quickly refresh that. Winds are 330 at 1. Right, that could mean that the runway's changed. Let me hop now onto Flight Radar 24. And we'll just have a quick look to see what's happening in real life. Yep, they've changed runways. So that means we need to change runways. Okay, yeah, this is going to be a very busy flight. So let's get the charts up. We're now expecting the more common runway. It's going to be runway 22 ILS approach. Which means... which arrival is that then? Coming in via Akito. Get rid of that. That's runway 04. Oh, fine if you don't want to play ball. So it's now Akito 3 Romeo arrival. Might not do that whole full procedure actually looking at that. So let's go and update this. It's going to be ILS runway 22, Akito 3 Romeo, and that of course will come in via the SPR VOR. There we are. Pressure malfunction, we know about that bug. So that's now all updated. Let's get the right charts up. It's kind of fun when they do have a runway change because it means things aren't quite as straightforward as we initially planned. Okay, so let's do a landing calculation then. Looks like we're going to be landing with 53, 54, 55, 56. Let's call it 56 and a half ton to be conservative. So it is dry. 2-2. Get the latest weather. 56 and a half. Flap 3. Low brake. Yeah, absolutely no problem. Okay, so we'll do a flap 3 landing then today. Oh, wrong one. Oh well. Right, let's just check the flight plan looks now how I expect it to. So we've still got a nice manual leg. So depending on traffic, there is a potential to kind of shortcut our way in a little bit. If we just have a quick look, I can show you a potential. So yeah, what we could do is we could go sort of instead of having to fly this full procedure in, out, and then the downwind and the base, what you could do, depending on the terrain of course, is we could pretty much almost go sort of direct from Akito to the Saint-Prix VOR. Now the only thing I want to check with that is the MSA. So MSA 7,000, which is fine because also the platform altitude is 7,000. So we could quite easily do that, get down 7,000 feet. That cuts off a bit of time, gets us in quicker. Of course, there's no air traffic control around, so we need to be careful with that. And we'd also need to check out what's happening on Unicom. We've got Dark Fury, for example, in front of us. If he decides to fly the full procedure, then that might mean that he'll delay us. So it's all on you, Dark. So let's just get some other things there. So we've got minimum safe altitude 7,000 feet, we've just said. The weather is Cat 1 weather, so 1565 is the minimums. Let's have a look at missed approach altitude is 7,000 feet. Airfield elevation is quite high as well, isn't it? So it's 1365. So about 1,400 feet. ILS is India Sierra Whiskey, and the track is 224, and we've just got that weather as well, haven't we? What is the QNH? It's 1015. Dark Fury says he's not flying the full on less traffic or AGC. Fair enough, that sounds perfect to me, mate. I'm with you on that. Okay, good. So the plan will be 7,000 feet at the Saint-Prix VOR. In that case, let's fill in box. We have to leave that as it is, but what I can do is secondary flight plan. Just copy that active flight plan for a moment, and then if we get out, if we take out Akito 518 Bolgi, so get rid of that, 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 clear the manual leg out, and get rid of that there. That is our potential for what we're going to do instead. There you are, look. So that's our secondary flight plan has got in the direct. So 7,000 feet at Saint-Prix, that's what we're going to be looking for. We can see that constraint is also in there as well. That works out, yeah, that works out quite nice. A little bit of pre-planning then. So what are we at? We're at 31,000 feet. See, I don't want to put that in now because if ATC come on all this traffic ahead of us, we can't do that, but we can plan to do it. So we're at 31,000 feet now, and if I want to be 7,000 feet by the time we get to Saint-Prix, we need to lose 24,000 feet. 24 multiplied by 3, the rule of 3 is 72. Add 10 knots, add 10 miles for slowing down, that's 82 miles. So if we put the SPR in there, the VOR, and pop in a radius of 82 miles, that's kind of like our top of descent if we're going to take the shortcut. So if we have a look at that, yeah, have a look at the difference there. So that is our actual planned and calculated top of descent if we're flying the full procedure. If we're going to take the shortcut, that is where we want to start the descent. Now let's just check the MSA on this to make sure that, you know, we're not going to crash into the Alps. I mean, we're not, because we're not going to get lower than 7,000 feet. And as I'm checking these, we've got the arrival there, so Akito, and as long as we don't go below 7,000 feet, or even we could be safe, I said 8,000 feet, so we'll select flight level 80 until we're getting close to Saint-Prix, and then we're going to be clear because we know we're free 7,000 feet at Saint-Prix VOR. So then, let's do a brief, because let's just try and put that all into sort of a concise decision of what it is we're going to do, because with that, top of descent is now only about 80 miles away if we're doing the shortcut. So look, full brief then. So starting as always with the weather. In fact, just before we do that, a couple of things I do want to do. We just want Saint-Prix just to update the speed there, 180, so that's fine. The RadNav page, we're going to put SPR in there. We've got that tuned, so when we see that as well, reaching, what was it, 70, was it 78? 78 miles? Sorry, 82 miles. When it was 82 miles from Saint-Prix, then we'll start heading down. So, got that in the box. What other RadNavs have we got? We've also got the Geneva as well, VOR, so GVA, pop that in as well. Okay, that's RadNav sorted. Lima, Sierra, Golf, it's runway 22. We want to get that in the page onto the cruise page. Descent and performance. Let's fill this out. So, the weather that we've got for Geneva is QNH 1015. The temperature is 22 degrees. God, that's warm for this time of night. The winds are 3301. Transition altitude 7,000. The minimums are 1565. And we're doing a flaps 3 landing. And the second flight plan, the only thing I need to check with that is also at Saint-Prix. I'm just going to amend the speed, 180. Done. Right, the box is set up, now we can do the brief. Oh, what have I not done there? Oh, I'd not confirmed the speed. That's fine. Alfie Campbell, mate, thank you so much for your £2 donation. Says love the content, and honestly, mate, I'm so thankful for your contribution there. That is incredibly generous of you. Really glad you're enjoying the flight and the streams this evening. Thank you for being here, Alfie. I really appreciate you being with us live as well. Okay, now let's do the brief. So, starting as always with the weather. Winds are 3301 knots, so basically they are almost non-existent with the winds at the moment. That's what's reported, so that's fine. Visibility is 10 kilometers or more, but now we've got a few clouds, 5,000 feet, scattered 8,000 feet. However, no towering cumulus are reported anymore, so that's a big plus for us. We're not going to have to avoid anything too nasty. QNH is 1015, so let's go and pre-select that. So that's all ready for us. Aircraft is still all working, nothing's broken, thank God. No TAMs are non-existent for our arrival today. Nothing's going to affect us getting into Geneva. Already checked those prior to the stream, and all is good. Threats to be aware of. Obviously, we've got terrain coming into Geneva. We can see the terrain. We're flying into the valley. It's all nice and safe. 7,000 feet is sort of like the key altitude. Once we drop below 7,000 feet, we're below MSA. That's where we just need to be sure that we know exactly where we are, and we're happy with our position with that. But yeah, terrain is the potential biggest issue that we need to be aware of. If anything goes wrong, we've got terrain to the north, we've got terrain to the south, we've got terrain to the east. The safest place is the Saint-Prix VOR. Anything goes wrong, fly raw data, get yourself at Saint-Prix, and we're nice and safe over Lake Geneva. So then, the arrival, what we're going to do, we're now going to be doing the ILS runway 22 on Quito 3 Romeo arrival, and if we just have a quick look at that arrival, we can see it here. Comes in at Quito, has us flying the full procedure all the way down back towards Geneva, and then a downwind leg right hand traffic back to Saint-Prix, and then in on the ILS. That is the full procedure plan. If we need to do that, that's fine. The plan then would be basically, once we've left SOVAD, slow down to green dot, start configuring flaps 1 on the base, flaps 2 with the glide slope. However, hopefully we're not going to have to do all that. We are going to cheat a little bit. We're going to go Quito, we're going to get direct, we're going to do a cheeky direct to Saint-Prix. When we do that, we are going to get down no lower than flight level 80, and then once we are within a few miles of Saint-Prix, we can lose that last 1,000 feet. 7,000 feet of Saint-Prix is the plan, and we also need to slow down as we're going down, so let's just be aware of that. We're going to get to green dot and ideally flaps 1 as we get to Saint-Prix. At Saint-Prix then we will pick up the localizer and also the glide slope as well with that, and at that point flaps 2 with the glide slope. So that is how I plan on flying the approach. It's a normal 3-degree approach, and we've got is it a 45 meter wide runway? I think so. 50 meters, slightly wider than the norm, so 50 meters wide, and we've got the normal 2-degree pappies as sorry, 3-degree pappies as well to look out for as well. Let's go through the box then, just so you guys know what we've got programmed. So the initial flight plan's got the full procedure in. The RadNav, we've got Saint-Prix, we've got Geneva. Progress page is all filled out. The performance page, we have got, I thought I put the cost index of 4 back in there. I don't know why that's there like that. There we are. So the approach page, we've got the winds in 3301, transition altitude 7,000 feet. We're doing a flaps 3 landing today. Flaps 3 landing is better for a number of reasons. 1, it's more fuel efficient, and 2, it's quieter for the environment, so the neighbours like it. So flaps 3 whenever we can. Minimum is 1,565 and VAP is 134. The secondary flight plan, if we're going to be able to activate it, has the shortcut in that we've already spoken about. The other thing to mention is, if we're going to plan to do that shortcut, our top of descent will not be the one shown with the little white arrow just there. In fact, our top of descent is going to be where this intersects just here. Hopefully then, that is more or less everything briefed. The only other thing to talk about is the landing and the go around. Once we've landed, we're going to vacate. Now let me just check, because there is a taxiway we're not allowed to take. I forgot which one it is. Tax procedures. Tax procedures. Parking information, noise abatement, ILS, visual, commercial air transport, Cat 2-3. We're not going to do Cat 2-3 today, the weather's too good. Exit runway 22, that's the one. Exit taxiways to be used whenever possible. Parking stands on the south apron. So, Delta or Echo, and Charlie not to be used. So don't take Charlie, that's the one I couldn't remember. Don't take Charlie, which is the first left. Take the second or the third. So, that's our plan. And then once we're there, these aircraft, they quite often park on these remote stands here, 83, 84, 85, so we might go and park there today. So Delta, Echo. In fact, if we took Echo, then it's a much shorter taxiing, isn't it? But yeah, so that's the plan for the landing. And then if we do need to go around, then it's straight out, and then 9.5 miles from Geneva, a left-hand turn, and our initial climb is 7,000 feet, max 185 knots, and we will then, looking at our characteristic speeds, be doing that at S speed. Yeah, S speed, not clean speed, flaps 1. Right, briefing done. Chris Shaw, good evening mate. It says, just did a lovely landing in Frankfurt and immediately it veered drastically off the runway. You don't get it. Wasn't touching the rudder and it was a bang on headwind. The only thing I can think of, Christopher, is you weren't bang aligned with the runway. It's if you can download SkyDolly and record your landings, 9 times out of 10 you'll see when you're landing you may not be perfectly aligned down the runway. It's deceptive in a simulator compared to real life because you haven't got peripheral vision. But yeah, definitely worth checking out. Send a delay code for 1 minute. Get stuffed. 1 minute. Don't think so. Right, not much to see out the window now as it is getting dark.
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase from our selection of fresh food available today. Full details can be found in your in-flight brochure. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated. And if we can be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Fatten Gamer says beautiful conditions for landing in Geneva, just disconnected. I'm hoping it's just going to be one of those really nice easy landings because there's no wind really tonight. Dan Vosa, so when would you do a full flap landing? Well, when the when the landing calculation says no, flaps 3, you're going to be too fast, so flaps full is required because you need to be a little bit slower. There are sometimes other reasons, like yesterday we did a landing, I forgot where it was now, Palanga in Lithuania, and the way you vacated the taxiway was it was halfway down the runway. If you missed it, you then had to go all the way down to the end and turn around and come back. So my plan was, well, we could easily stop with a flaps 3 landing, but we're going to miss that taxiway. So I did a flaps full landing, so we approached a little bit slower, and we still missed the taxiway. But the plan was, let's try and get off, but it didn't work like that. But yeah, so they're the reasons why. Flaps 3 is better for the environment and fuel, but flaps full if you're not going to be able to get in for whatever reason on flaps 3. Right, we've just passed that little line then, so we are going to start that descent down. So we'll go flight level 100, blue, thrust idle, and open descent. And we're now just going to keep an eye on the Centre Privé and do some sort of mental math calculations. Brian, does it help to push the side stick forward during the it's not something I do. In fact, I don't think I've ever done it. Once you've planted on the runway, you're pretty much down. You've got no thrust either, so you're down. And the spoilers are also doing that job for you a little bit. Dan Vosa, unfortunately, got to go to bed. No problem, mate. I know it's getting late. Like I said, the stream started a little bit later than I wanted to tonight. So come back and check the landing, Dan, and hopefully see you on the next flight, whenever that will be. Max, you thought you only did flaps 3 landing if it's very, very windy? No, not at all. So, like I said, flaps 3 landing is more efficient for the engines, saves fuel. It's quieter as well, so the environment, great for the environment. And flaps 3, you're right, you do use flaps 3 landing if it's really windy because your airspeed is faster. Your landing speed, your approach speed is faster on a flaps 3 landing, so you've got that little bit more stability as well. Other things you can do when it's really landing is you can add 5 knots to your VAP speed, so you can do flaps 3 and add 5 knots to it as well, as long as you're accounting for that with your landing performance calculations. Mash, thought on the mini cockpit FCU looks awesome, but once again, bottlenecks getting it to work with the Fenix due to licensing. I know, I think that's going to be the biggest thing. It looks fantastic, doesn't it? But getting it to work with the Fenix would be another matter. Yeah. It'd be great if they let that license go and made it work for us, but hey ho, what can you do? Christian, also with flaps 3 you have a better go around performance because you're already on flaps 3. Well, you are, but then remember, when you go around, regardless of whether you're already flaps 3, you go into flaps 2. So yeah, I see what you're saying. You do have you're right, you do have better performance, but don't remain in flaps 3 if you're going around with a flaps 3 landing. You would go around, you'd still go up 1 notch to flaps 2, wouldn't you? George, what do I use for my announcements? That's £6. It's self-loading cargo, little abandonware app now, I guess, but you can still pick it up. If you do a Google search, you'll find it. So, guys, if you enjoyed the stream of the flight tonight so far, please do me a huge favour, hit that like button on the stream. It does make a big difference to the channel. It really, really does. So, thank you everyone who takes the time to go and press that button for me. Right, let's have a quick look at what's ahead of us. I can't see anything ahead of us. I can't see any ATC, so I think we're going to go for it. Geneva traffic, TopSwiss 53 Hotel Golf is currently 7 miles from Akito, and we will then be going directly Saint-Prix VOR for the ILS approach runway 22. Max, does all the info apply to the A320 Neo as well? Yep, absolutely does. Chris Hogg, good evening, mate. How are you? Hope you're well. Right, let's activate our secondary flight plan. And now we can just see what our profile is looking like as it updates that. So we're going to wind the speed up a bit just to get down on there. And that's just bringing where we're going to level off. That's perfect. Keep an eye on that. And it should be fine. Right, just check that we've got everything. Cost index is 0, it makes no difference. Right, let's update the let's update this because of course as we activated the secondary, the performance was wiped. I should have filled it out then, it wouldn't have been, but never mind. So that QNH is 1015, temperature 22, minimum is 1565, and config 3. VAT 134. Right, just having a look. It's telling me I'm 8,000 feet above the profile. I'm not entirely sure that's. I don't think that's accurate. I want to be 7,000 feet at Saint-Prix. We're 40 miles away. I've got to lose 10,000 feet. I can do that in 30 miles, and we're 40 miles away. So, I think that might not be quite right. I've not seen that bug before though, to be honest. Usually it's pretty darn good. But this is always a good reason to back up everything with mental calculations. Alright, so we're now going 7,000 blue.
Geneva area traffic, switch 19, it's 5 miles from Sierra off the Romeo, reducing speed to 180, and we're going to make a right turn system and we'll fly to all 60.
Yeah, not too sure what's gone on with the profile there. So instead of using the VDEV profile, let's just look at where we're going to be leveling off. I want to be 7,000 feet at Saint-Prix, but we need to slow down as well. So that's giving us sort of 10 miles to slow down and get configured. So that will work. That will work absolutely fine. Seatbelt signs are now on. We're on the local QNH 1015. So let's do the approach checklist. So bar F QNH is 1015. Seatbelt signs are on. Minimums are 1565. We're using auto brake low, and the EFB is stowed. Thomas Rose, thank you for subscribing. And Otto, completely missed your amazing 9 months of channel membership. Otto, thank you so much for being here. Say, it's good to have you back streaming. Otto, thank you for being here. It's great to be back. I did miss it. I really did. So, definitely better to be back here than laid on the sofa feeling rubbish. Okay, just thrust idle over descent. We're just starting to reduce speed now, 250 knots, and get the lights on as we approach 10,000 feet. Landing systems on, and the approach phase is already activated. Go on to that. Fair enough. One other thing I should have checked as well, let's just reset that in case we had to go around. Two 28634366. Let's just fill that in. So that's for the go around information. So 2863 4366, and the engine out is 2366. Hopefully won't be needed, but better to plan and not need it than the alternate. So VS 800. Geneva traffic, TopSwiss 53 Hotel Golf is 1 miles to the north of Saint-Prix, and we'll be intercepting ILS runway 22, Geneva traffic. Leanne, I don't think... no, I didn't activate it, or at least I didn't think I did. I'm going to have to go back and watch that. I activated the secondary flight plan. I didn't activate the... approach phase. I'm going to have to go back and watch that. It's just confirmation that the approach phase has been activated. Now we're slowing down. 7,000 feet Saint-Prix, that's absolutely perfect then. So right, let's hit the localizer button because we'll hopefully pick that up pretty soon. Excellent, yeah, new livery. So we've got the new registrations. We've now got all 3 registrations needed for Alpine Ops, TopSwiss Ops, and our Easyjet Ops, of course. And just as we're coming in level off at our platform altitude, Otto, mate, that is incredible. Thank you so much for your 5 Easyjets in Pilot Channel memberships as we bring our stream to the end. Dan Vosa, Jason, B1AV, Steve, and Bastian. Guys, welcome to channel membership. Remember to get yourself in the members lounge on our Discord, and check out, of course, our members only streams as well. Thank you again, Otto. That's incredible support of the channel. Thank you so much, mate. Right, there we go. That wasn't bad planning. We're at we're going to be 7,000 feet at Saint-Prix. We're about 3 miles out. Perfect. We're now over Lake Geneva. We're approaching MSA, and visually everything's looking fine. So just keep an eye on that wind now. We're obviously visual as well with Geneva Airport.
Cabin crew, about 15 minutes to landing if you can repair the cabin, thank you.
So flaps 1, speed's checked, flaps 1. Happy to leave that in managed speed, as it's going to drop to 180. Hey Andy voice, just got home in time to watch the landing, fantastic. Kevin, yeah, FS Realistic is activated. Evening Drax. That's what India Sierra Whiskey identified. Geneva traffic, TopSwiss 53 Hotel Golf is established, ILS runway 2218 miles, speed 180 knots.
Ladies
So
and
Glass Out
gentlemen,
Blue,
we will shortly be
we've got
landing.
the Lockstar Catch
Please
Jewels
ensure your
2.
cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside. Your tray table must be stowed, armrest down, and window blind open. You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers, or magazines that you do not want to take with you. The toilets are no longer in service.
There we go, glide slope star, flaps 2, speeds checked, flaps 2, and we'll pull speed, happy to hold 180. Help us get down. Oh, wow. Oh, guys. So, Excited is rating us with a party of 63 on Twitch. Guys, welcome you. Join us just as we turn on to final approach, picking up that localizer and glide slope for a nice arrival into Geneva. Just watching that wind at the moment. We've got a bit of a tailwind, so we'll keep an eye on that. I'm also just watching that glide slope to see when I might need to throw that gear out. That tailwind's kind of just thrown us a little bit. Speed's increasing, and we're chasing the glide. Okay, let's go for it. Gear down. That'll spoil us out. We need that drag. And that should help. There we go. That's coming back up now. Perfect. So glide slope catches. Mid approach altitude 7,000 feet is set. And also at the same time as that, amazing Chris Hogg, another channel legend. Chris, channel member. Thank you so much. That is an incredibly generous £10 donation super chat for the channel. Thank you so much, Chris. Really glad you're here as well. Long-time supporter of the channel is Chris, so great to have you on board tonight, mate. As we fly with our new aircraft as well for the first time. So thank you so much, Chris, for that. Okay, 11 miles out. Happy to leave the speed at 180. That's holding that glide so much better now. We just need to throw that gear out as the tailwind was not
Geneva traffic, Swiss 19 Lima, vacated runway 22.
Sounds like the runway is empty, so we're going to be able to come in and land no problems. Darker, you actually vacated this time, not like yesterday, where you were vacated but not. Geneva traffic, TopSwiss 53 Hotel Golf is on a 10-mile final, runway 22. Love that reflection of the clouds on Lake Geneva. Really neat. Okay, let's push for managed speed then. Let's start slowing that thing down. And we'll go flaps 3. Speed's checked. Flaps 3.
2,500.
Radar altimeter is alive. Checklist. Cabin is secured, going at altitude 7,000 feet is set, and you can memo. Not yet, it needs to be 2,000 feet before we got that. Got the go around track shown as well. We've got the terrain radar on. If we need to go around, remember it's going to be a toga, go around flaps, rotate, and we will fly the go around no faster than I can't even read my writing. What was it? Was it 175? 185. 185. But we can pull 179, which is our S speed today. Right, just complete that landing checklist again. So cabin is secured for landing around altitude is 7,000 feet. So you can remember landing noble. Replay is up. Remember, we're going to be vacating on either the second or third left. First left is not allowed. So yeah, I've got tailwind. We might need to just do a little earlier flare than normal. Keep an eye on that. The wind should be coming from the right hand side as we're coming, but also very light. In fact, at the moment I'm just watching it, it just looks very light and variable. Right, so that's 1,000 feet. Autopilot R5 control. Stable.
Above. Minimum.
Continue.
$50, $40, $30, $20. Retard.
A little bit of decrab needed there. Hint of a tailwind, so we just started that flare a tad earlier than normal. So we've got spoilers, reverse green, and reverse idle, manual brakes. Welcome to Geneva.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls, or internet access may now be used. Please make sure that you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat, and in the overhead lockers. Do take care when opening the lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your Easyjet journey. For the latest news, promotions, flight and destination information, check out our official Facebook page, Twitter, or Easyjet app.
Right, let's go and park up somewhere. Do you know, that approach, that is probably the least amount of input I've ever had to give on an approach. I literally took the autopilot off, and aside from a slight correction to the centre line, very little input. Just the flare. I have no idea what gate we're going to here, by the way. Nope, none of those. We'll check out the replay in a moment. I want to gate 84, but it doesn't seem to want to be there. Oh well, I'm not going to muck about with that too much. I'm going to check out the replay in a moment. Not again, Jeff. The Airbus was doing the flying for us. It's because it's fly-by-wire. You know, everything was all set up and perfectly. The aircraft's all perfectly in trim and everything. The G-load set. Knock off the autopilot, and we had very little. Little winds, sort of. Rocking the aircraft or anything like that, so it was yeah, pretty straightforward. Now, very little wind, you don't have to do too much. Right, that is, which links that? That's link 1. flight station, and then we'll take one of the these remote stands over here. Christian, you're right, this is Red Wing scenery. There we go, stand 83, that'll do. Turn the tax light off so we don't blind the ground crew. Not that they're there. And then we'll do my set up my favourite view in a minute for the replay, the wing view. John B, yeah, so any sort of past member streams and things like that are all still sort of video on demand. Oh my word. Please tell me everybody else saw the fire truck just mount the curb or the back of that car, whatever that was. But yes, any past videos are still available as video on demand on YouTube. You can see those, John. That's right. Right, let's hold that there, and let's check out the replay then, shall we? So we'll leave everything up and running. Come on, VATSIM. Thank you to those of you who flew alongside us tonight on VATSIM. So we'll disconnect that, and I would just bring the replay up, and we'll have a nice wing view look for that. Get our lights back on, of course. There we go. Right, let's check out this landing into Geneva then. See how it looked from a passenger perspective. Okay, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Hope you're well. I think there's quite a lot to take out of this particular flight. You know, things like the shortcut that we did, the VDEV scale not working quite accurately, so we're kind of doing our own sort of mental calculations and things to take into consideration. We had the secondary flight plan all set up, we got to activate it, so there was a lot to do tonight. It's a very short flight, it was only an hour's flight time, then we made it perhaps even a little bit shorter by taking that shortcut. So lots to go through, lots to discuss, and I like flights like that because they're busy. The only downside to that is, of course, we haven't got just loads of downtime in the chat, so if I have missed any comments or questions from you guys tonight, I am really sorry. Please do come back or leave a comment down below and I'll try and come back to it. Or if not, just catch us on the next live stream where maybe the cruise segment might be a little bit longer. John B, mate, that is incredible. Thank you so much for joining our training captain level membership, showing some serious support there for the channel. And of course, if you are on Discord, make sure you get into the VIP lounge on there as well, where many of us are usually there discussing a whole host of things, some of them sometimes to do with aviation as well. And of course you can access all past members only streams where I'm doing sim checks and things like that. So yeah, thank you so much, John. Chris Hogg, don't worry about being late, mate. You got to see a lot of the interesting bits late on, and of course everyone likes a landing. How was the landing anyway? What was the landing rate? Not the replay, but the touchdown landing rate first time round. It's usually it looked all right. That I might have a look at that one from outside. It looked pretty decent. Let's just check what the other side looks like. This scenery is awesome, isn't it? The Red Wing. This airport, of course, is the location of the famous incident with the electricity pylons, where I crashed into them many months ago. Probably about 2 years ago now when that happened. The stream is still there for you to find though somewhere. Power cut in Geneva, I think it was called. Nice landing. I'll take that any day of the week. Nice little decrab as well, just at the end. So that wind just blew us off ever so slightly. Good your wearings, mate. Thank you so much for your First Officer channel channel level membership. I really appreciate that video. And again, make sure you get yourself in the members lounge on our Discord server if you are on Discord. Thank you so much for your support tonight. Really do appreciate that. Loads of new channel members and support from all of you guys. And of course, let's not forget that our livery tonight, our brand new, it's too dark, I can't see it. Our brand new, there we go, we can just see the Swiss registration, courtesy of channel member, the legend, Dark Fury, who has given us not just this aircraft, but also given us an Alpine aircraft to enjoy as well. So we're going to be able to check that out at some point later on this week as we do some Alpine operations. What it means is now the operational flight plans and the airframes that we use will be correct for all flights that we do, rather than just being our usual British registered aircraft, of course, which was Golf Echo Juliet Sierra Papa, wasn't it, for Easyjet Sim Pilot. So guys, welcome to Geneva. Thank you so much. I really hope you've enjoyed our flight this evening. A massive shout out to all of those who have donated, contributed, our new channel members, gifting level memberships as well. Thank you so much. A big shout out to channel member Dark Fury as well, not forgetting the work he's done on our liveries. And of course, as always, to our Easyjet Sim Pilot channel memberships, as always, thank you so much for your incredible unwilling support. We really do appreciate that. Our next stream, no idea when it will be, but as usual, if you're on Discord, I will let you know as soon as I know. Whatever you're doing for the rest of this evening, I hope you have a good one. I will see you all on the next flight. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I shall see you all again very soon. Bye bye, guys. Good night.
$500. $50, $40, $30, $20, retard, 5.